별이걸 사람 같아 넌 피우면서 기는 폭주에
Uh, I just wanted to talk about a couple things real quick. Uh, Even though I've had bipolar for 14 years, it's just basically been the diagnosis I got, and then that's basically been it. I haven't really talked about anything else with anyone. Even when I go to see my psychiatrist, basically all I do is just say, "Hey, this is happening, this is happening, this is happening, and this is how I feel about it." But I never really ask him, "Hey, what about this?" Or I don't really ask him very many questions. It's just basically me going saying, "This is how I feel right now. Maybe we should do this," and that's it. And so I've never ever really talked to him about any other symptoms that I really had, besides my mood being up or down at any given time. And lately, over the past few months, looking at other videos and hearing other people's stories, I've come to realize that there may be a couple other things that are going on with me right now. Uh, the first is, for a while now, not all the time, but for a while now, um, I've been hearing things, and I just always attributed it to something else. But just the other night, I got to thinking about it because I was laying in bed. I wasn't asleep. I wasn't dreaming. I was just laying in bed, and I just, from time to time, I hear a voice whisper in my ear, "Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy." And like just over and over again, like, the voice would say, "Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy." And then after a few minutes, I would hear like somebody was whispering, like they were saying, "Hey, buddy," to get my attention, and then they would whisper just so I couldn't understand exactly what they're saying. And then the other thing is, I've always heard my name being called, and I never thought anything of it. I just thought it was in my head, which I guess technically it is. But there have been times where I've been at work and I've been the only one in the building, and I know I've heard my name called, and I just thought it was something I'd been making up. So I'm not really sure, but I may have been having, or I may be having, uh, auditory hallucinations. Uh, I don't know. I might bring it up to my doctor. I might not. I don't see. I mean, it hasn't bothered me yet, and I think I've been having them for a while. So, I mean, I knew I had delusions back when I was getting diagnosed, and I did not realize that now I may have been having, uh, auditory hallucinations. I've never really seen anything, hallucinatory wise, except back before I got diagnosed. Uh, I did think that I would almost see little people running and hiding. It was really weird. I don't know if you ever seen the cartoon The Littles, but it was like I would see them, almost see them. I might see like the back of their leg as they ran behind something. And back when I was getting diagnosed, it had gotten so bad that I would be at work and I would think I would see them run under something, and I would physically get down and look to see if I could see them running under whatever I thought they were running under. So yeah, that was then. I really haven't had any major hallucinations, uh, except I don't know. I don't know what this is. Maybe this is just something in my head, and I don't know. I'm reading too much into it. And then the other thing is has to do with self harm. Basically, I've self harm is a subject that I've stayed away from even before I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. Basically because of what happened when I first learned about it. And I remember that day like it was yesterday. It just stands out in my memory. And before I say it, I don't want to trigger anybody. Not that there's anything bloody or gory that I'm gonna say, but just the way I felt at that time might trigger someone, and I don't do that. But basically, what happened was I was over someone's house. We were watching TV. It may have been a news report, or it may have been, I'm pretty sure it was a TV show that had to deal with young people, and the subject of cutting came up. And basically, what I remember is that everybody in the room just remarked about how disgusting that was and how stupid it was and how they couldn't see why anybody would ever do something as dumb as that. But I remember that what I thought was that that must be the best feeling in the world. That by cutting yourself like that, that it would really relieve a lot of tension, a lot of stress, and it must feel great to do it. And I realized that I needed to stay away from it because I could do some serious damage to myself. And after that time, I wouldn't look at anything that had to do with cutting or self harm, just because I was afraid that I might be too tempted to do it. But over the past couple of months, I've been looking and seeing and reading and hearing more about it, and I realized that I may have been involved in some behaviors that could be considered self harm. One of which I've gone to somebody to talk about to see what they think, if it's really self harm or whether it's something else. Uh, I really would rather not go into it. But the other thing um, I do is whenever I get in a stress situation, a lot of times with a lot more, especially when I'm in a situation where there's a lot of people around me, and I really start to get my anxiety up about it. What I will do is, and again, I don't want to trigger anybody, but what I do is I put my hand in my pockets and I get my keys and I just start jabbing them into the side of my leg, and I just jab as hard as I can, and I just keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it, basically until I can calm myself down or I end up having to leave the place where I'm at. So yeah, I don't know. That doesn't sound as bad to me as a lot of people's stories when it comes to self harm. I don't know if it's that big of a deal, if something I can just ignore and not worry about. But yeah, that's uh, that's it, and I guess I'll leave it at that. Peace or love and peace.
네가 바로 내 기분 어린아이된 기분 네 생각 안 하고 버티기 길어봐야 10분 지금 너와 내 사이 냉정과 열정 사이 어떻게라도 좋아 If I could keep you right beside me 네 얼굴은 조각같이 너무 아름다워 너만 보면 나도 상같이 You're my superstar 넌 한 마리 butterfly 꽃밭에 나비효과 작은 미소에 내 맘속엔 폭풍이 일잖아 더 날아나봐 날아가봐 이참에 나를 좀 알아가봐 남자는 애 아닌 게라잖아 다른 넌매가 주체가잖아 지금까지 못 느껴본 사랑 줄게 I'll be your James Bond 끝까지
You got me losing my mind the way you got me fired up Never give up or even when they try us You and me against the